All right. So how does suicide rank, again, for all ages, for other types of death in Colorado? You can just kind of bounce through each other. And this is 2009, which is our most recent year of state data that just came out a few weeks ago. 190 homicides in 2009. 553 motor vehicle deaths. 940 suicide deaths. That surprise anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, people are generally very surprised by this. And I usually will stop and talk about motor vehicle deaths versus suicide deaths. I work in the same unit with the motor vehicle people at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, and we're going like this. Suicide deaths and rates are getting higher, motor vehicle deaths and rates are getting lower, and there's this gap. And so I think we can learn a ton from the people who do motor vehicle prevention work nationally, and they do it great at all levels. I can talk about that later if people have questions. You can keep popping through. 7th leading cause of death for all ages, and like I mentioned, the 2nd leading cause of death for young people in Colorado. Thanks. All right, so 2009, here's the new data. 940 was our highest number of suicides in Colorado by a long shot. Prior to 2009, 2007 was our highest number, and we had 805 deaths in 2007. So this is 135 more deaths than we've ever had in the state of Colorado. And the rates has also gone up. This 18.4 per 100,000 is the highest rate we've had since 1988. So 2009 has presented some complications in the data. And to me, it's an opportunity to recognize, hey, this is an issue in Colorado, to remind people that we still have to continue to fight this battle. And to suggest that these are historic highs, but we don't want to overreact because 2009 may be an anomaly. We don't know if this signifies a trend, so it doesn't say let's freak out, but it does remind us that we got to continue to fight. Okay.
Jarrod, do you know if this is true nationally, that 2009 was a bad year, or is it?
We don't know. I'm trying to find that out now. The states that participate in a data set, the National Violent Death Reporting System, we're trying to collect that data. But the national 2009 data probably won't come out until 2012. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the 2007 data is our most recent year of national data, so we won't know it. I would speculate yes, but no idea. Here's the age breakdown. There are a couple ages I want to point out. Ages 10 to 34, fortunately still a small number of deaths, but the rate has gone up significantly in that age group. You can pop to the next slide. And here's where the biggie turned out. Ages 25 to 44, 333 of our 940 deaths in that age group, and their rate jumped up to 23.6. So I would argue, Gene, correct me, statistically significant, probably increase among that group. And then the other population is 85 and older. Again, highest rates by far, but what you'll note is that fortunately a smaller number of deaths, but there's so few, it's a smaller group of people in that age range, so the smaller number of deaths makes the rate go up regardless. Okay. And we can't talk about suicide without talking about suicide attempts. When you look at attempts, everything flips. Females attempt at a higher rate. It's still the age group is the same, but again, that's 25 to 44 is a much bigger age group than I put up there for the others. But to note that 15 to 19 are our highest rates for suicide attempts, and it's adolescents who attempt at the highest rate. And these data are way underrepresented because it only accounts for suicide attempts that are significant enough to require hospitalization. So if somebody goes to the ER, gets his or her stomach pumped, and gets sent home without going to the hospital, it doesn't show up. Without being admitted to the hospital, it doesn't show up in these data. I think I have one more. Nope, I don't. Thanks.
Okay.